Coming up today on TOT, we have some more transfers to run you guys through before we kick off the Premier League season with a North London derby at home against Arsenal. That's coming up after the intro. Hello everyone and welcome back to Taking Over Tottenham here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and if you're looking forward to the start of Season 2 proper here in episode number 14 of Taking Over Tottenham, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and do enjoy the series, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. But today we are going to start things off with our transfers that we have done since yesterday's episode, which was a Club World Cup and very early season transfer roundup. So if you missed that, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner. I say yesterday, it was a few days ago now. Sorry about not getting a video out yesterday, but been a little bit busy over the weekend, had a bit of stuff going on, and also our house has finally got some stuff happening towards it starting to get built. So I've been a little bit busy with that, haven't quite been able to get through as much FM gameplay as I would like, but as you can see on screen, we have done a few transfers, so we'll run through the important ones for you guys now, a few additional ones since the end of yesterday's episode. It kicked off with the sale of Davinson Sanchez to Porto, a decent centre-back for us last season, was a good backup, but we decided to cash in on him. I thought we could upgrade in that position for the amount of money that we were able to get for him, which was 35.5 million from Porto for the 26-year-old Colombian. Good centre-back, as I said, but I do like good aerial centre-backs in my teams. He wasn't quite as good as the other options that we had around on our short list, so I thought we could cash in on him. As I said, he has gone to Porto, was quite happy to do so, getting a bigger squad role there. So he has left us, has Davinson Sanchez, after being more or less a backup centre-back for us last season. I will also mention we are using Zealand's FM skin from now on, because I do think this one does look quite good. That's why there's the big Z up there towards the top right. So trying out Zealand skin for the rest of this season here on the Taking Over Tottenham series. Anyway, I'll see if we use this one in our Husavik Heroes save once that kicks off. Hopefully later this week when FM22 comes out. As you're watching this video, it's probably just been released, but Davinson Sanchez has left for Porto, and that gave us a good amount of money that we could do some more transfers with off the back of signing the likes of Onana and Kurt Smith, and we have added 3 more players to our squad here at Tottenham. First off, one that we hinted at in the mid-season transfer window last time around, and in yesterday's episode, the deal finally got done just off the back of that Davinson Sanchez sale, and that is left-back Riccardo Calafiore joining us from Roma for £15 million. You can see he's a very well-rounded left-back, and he has decent potential, does the young 20-year-old. If we have a look at the coach report, he has got 3.5 star potential, and will be a nice backup option to both Renan Lodi and Ben Davies, one for the future here, just making the squad a little bit more future-proof, bringing in Riccardo Calafiore from Roma in Italy for 15 million. Good young pickup, a player who can grow over the next few years at the club. Then off the back of that, we did replace Davinson Sanchez with another centre-back, and we spent a decent amount of money on this as well, more or less exactly what we got for Davinson Sanchez, and we bought in a player who I have a little bit of history with from our Hexagon challenge last season. I'm pretty sure we had Tanguy Nianzou at Monaco. It wasn't at PSG. I can't quite remember exactly where. I think he was at Monaco, and we didn't bring him with us when we went to PSG to complete the European section of the Hexagon challenge, but he was a very good centre-back for us at Monaco, provided I'm right, and he looks good again, slightly better in the air than Davinson Sanchez. Same current ability, has a lot more potential. He is a very promising centre-back. Looks like he is going to be, again, can also play in the defensive midfield role as well, should he need to, but looks like a very good backup option. Only 20 years old. Got him for a good price, around about the £32.5 million mark up front, and he has joined us from Bayern Munich to replace Davinson Sanchez. If we have a look at his report, 4-star, maybe even 5-star potential. So definitely an upgrade there on Davinson Sanchez for more or less the same amount of money. So another centre-back joining the squad. And then we had a little bit of leftover money. And I noticed that Yusuf Demir had not had his optional future fee triggered by Barcelona at the end of last season. So we went in there to Rapid Wien and said, we'll take him, thank you very much, for 6 million, rising to 7 million. He is going to be trained up more or less as our third choice striker ahead of Dane Scarlett. Now, he is a very promising player, is Yusuf Demir, as you probably know. Very surprised Barcelona did not trigger the optional future fee, especially considering I'm pretty sure it was quite a cheap one. So we went in there and did the business ourselves. He joins us. We'll see how much football he gets. It's probably going to be dependent on injuries because he's competing with the likes up front with Harry Kane and Andrea Belotti. Could slot into the right wing spot if we get injuries in that position as well. We'll see what happens, but Yusuf Demir has joined us for the very cheap price of 6 million from Rapid Wien after a loan spell at Barcelona last season, where he got a couple of assists. Should do a decent job for us here at Tottenham, and you look at the potential. 3-star, maybe could get up to 4. Definitely a useful player to have as a third choice kind of right winger come striker. So that's the transfer business that we've done a few additions and one notable sale, and how we look going into the start of the Premier League. Obviously, we have actually played one game going into today's episode against Everton. We'll show you guys the highlights of that shortly, but our first team looks very similar to how it did last season. In fact, the only change is that Andre Onana is in between the sticks, but you go to the bench, it is a pretty strong bench these days. That looks fairly similar to last season as well, truth be told, but you got likes of Nianzou coming in there for Davinson Sanchez and Eric Dyer, and then we've got quite a bit of squad depth now, which is something that is nice to say, bringing in a lot of players under 21 so they don't have to be registered, and we're looking quite good in terms of squad depth, I believe, going into the second season of Taking Over Tottenham. A few players down there who I would like to get rid of, the likes of Carter Vickers, Benkovic if we could, Matt Doherty, but we'll see what we can do. Nothing really happening with those guys yet. We might have to wait for tomorrow's episode where it is transfer deadline day. But as I said, we have played one game in the Premier League so far leading into this North London derby. So we'll show you guys the highlights of that quickly. And we go off to an absolute flyer of the start in the Premier League this season. Took us just after the core of an hour mark to get our first goal. Heung-min Son played through there by Romero. Really nice finish there into the top right corner to give us a nice early lead. And then about 8 minutes later, just after the halfway point in the first half, Emerson Royale finds a lot of space down the right. And Andrea Belotti, who started this game over Harry Kane, a little bit injury prone at the moment, so he's getting a rest early in the season, but a really good finish on the volley there to make it 2-0. Then Emerson Royale, again on the volley from a Ben Davies ball to make it 3-0. And then right before halftime, Tanguy Nianzou, who started this game, got his first goal on competitive debut. Nothing happening in the second half. A very comprehensive performance to start the Premier League season, running out 4-0 winners over Everton, who were a team that upset us late last season, and a result that more or less cost us our title chances. So at home, that is a good way to start the season. Obviously, that means we're up near the top of the Premier League table, but not too much point showing you guys that table yet after only one match week. But we do take on an Arsenal team. If we have a look at their schedule, they started off with a rather heavy defeat. 4-0 they lost to Manchester City. So hopefully we can continue piling the misery on Mikel Arteta's men today. And we have no injury concerns going into this first on-camera game of the Premier League season. So we'll come back shortly with team sheets for this North London derby. And here are the team sheets for this first game of the Premier League season. Ours is, as we ran through before, very strong team. As I said, we've still got Belotti starting over Harry Kane just because he is still a little bit injury prone compared to Belotti. So we'll ease Harry Kane into the season. He will miss this first North London derby. Having a look at Arsenal, looking pretty similar to how they lined up in the first season of the save. One notable addition there on one of the wings is that Jesse Lingard has joined them from Manchester United. Quite a few big transfers in the Premier League this season, Manchester City in particular, picking up both Erling Haaland and Lautaro Martinez. So they are very strong up front. But in terms of Arsenal, just Lingard, the most notable and obvious addition since last season. But hopefully we can beat these guys, get a little bit of revenge for the last day of Season 1 in the Premier League. And we've got the first highlight of this game. Arsenal with a clearance, but Heung-min Son will tidy things up, and we look to drive forward here. Højbjerg out to Emerson Royale in space with a shot, trying to pick out the top left corner, just goes wide, and it is still 0-0 early on. Up to the 37-minute mark now, and we have a corner. Heung-min Son puts us in. Joe Rodon gets his head on the end of that, and he is still a weapon from set pieces, is the Welsh centre-back. That is the first goal on camera of the Premier League season. Another corner at the near post. Joe Rodon rises up. We had a few chances highlight-wise prior to that, but Belotti offside from both of them. But we get the lead 1-0 after 37 minutes, although here is Martin Ødegaard trying to peg one back for Arsenal. Immediately, Onana just tips that over onto the crossbar. Ben White is there to put it in the back of the net, but he could be offside here. I see the linesman's just keeping his position there, so he might be offside. Looked very close, and indeed the goal has been disallowed. So after opening the scoring, we do get away with one ever so slightly there. You can see he's only just offside. Really good kick there from Ødegaard. Good save from Onana potentially, and it keeps it at 1-0 late in the first half. And that is half time in this North London derby. 1-0 up. You look at the stats. We're just edging things, it's fair to say. Obviously, they had a good late chance there through that Ødegaard free kick, but pretty happy with how things are going. We'll make no changes at half-time. We might have to manage some of these guys because we're picking up quite a few yellow cards, but as I said, fairly happy with how things are going, leading at half-time, 1-0 in the North London derby. Up to the 75-minute mark here, there have been absolutely no highlights in the second half. We've made two changes already. Davies has come on for Lodi and Bergwijn for Corona. We're going to make the last one of our changes now, and that will be Tanguy Nianzou coming on for Christian Romero on a yellow card. So we'll bring him on just so that we don't concede. Want someone who can get stuck into tackles at the back there, but the second half is not up to much. Still 1-0 up with only a quarter of an hour to go. Up to the 91-minute mark, and we finally have a highlight in the second half. Still 1-0, so we need to try and be tight at the back, but hopefully we can break through again to grab a cushion goal in this game. Put it beyond doubt. Heung-min Son for Højbjerg. Back for Ndombele. Lo Celso. Good passing here just outside the box. Belotti slotted through, but he might be offside. Looked a little bit too good to be true, and indeed they've ruled the goal out straight away. No VAR. A little bit buggy, the skin, I will say. The stats not showing up there during the game. So in game, I might go back to the regular skin, do like the Zealand skin in the non-match engine gameplay anyway. But in the end, we pick up a 1-0 win. Not the most exciting game, has to be said. Not too many highlights, but we got the job done. And 2 wins from 2 to start the Premier League season. Good solid performance from us there. The goal coming through Joe Rodon. And 3 points to make it 6 from 6 to start the Premier League season. And off the back of that North London derby win, here is the Premier League table, albeit only after 2 match weeks, so don't take this with too much importance at this stage of the season, but we are up there thanks to our goal difference just behind Liverpool and Manchester City, but we've also got Chelsea, Man United and Leeds United, who are all unbeaten, but very early on, but at least we've given ourselves a good launching pad early on and have not started the season off too badly like Arsenal. So that's a plus, already doing better than Arsenal to start things off this season. But that will do it for today's episode. Solid win in the North London derby. In terms of when we're going to be coming back for the next episode, it will be at the end of August. We'll come back for the Aston Villa game away from home. That was an absolute classic last season. We'll see if we can produce another one before we crack into deadline day. See if we can move on some players like Carter Vickers, Benkovic, Matt Doherty. They are players we could look at letting go on deadline day. So that could be an interesting one coming up in tomorrow's episode. But if you did enjoy today beating Arsenal in the North London derby, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well, especially with our Builder Nation save starting. As soon as I can find a database with the Icelandic third tier, we will be getting into that, and I will try and get some double upload days going depending on how busy I am with other stuff regarding the house that is about to be getting built for me, which is quite nice. But until tomorrow, where we've got Aston Villa and deadline day, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.